watch this video real quick. We got 1,000 ants versus obstacles.
I've seen videos of ants doing insane things to survive, like in this one where they built a boat out of their bodies to survive a flood, or in this one where they built a dangling bridge out of their bodies to
Well, little do y'all know, ants is like one of the smartest creatures in the world.
attack a wasp nest. So I was wondering, if I put my 1,000 ants into obstacle courses, will they do similar things to complete them, or are my ants just not that smart? Well, I just spent hours gathering 1,000 ants out my old ant nest, so I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to put these guys up against their first ant obstacle. Obstacle number 1 is this thing. Basically, what we do is put some massive dead insect food at the bottom, and then we fill it with a bunch of sand to turn it into one of those 2D ant nests. Basically, we'll be able to watch the ants dig out all sorts of tunnel systems in here, and if they actually find the insect food I hit at the bottom, then they'll pass the obstacle.
What the fuck is this? Y'all really be torturing ants. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, y'all do ants real bad.
And move on to the next obstacles that get harder and harder as the video goes on. All right, let's not waste any time, and well, let's just do this. Wow, that is very satisfying watching 1,000 ants fall in here. Okay. Now, of course, immediately, the ants all just started to try and climb the walls of the top area to try and escape. But surprisingly, many of the ants were already starting to dig down that center 2D part of the nest. Oh my gosh, this is happening so fast. Wait, is there already progress on the side of the tank? Oh, I just put these guys in literally like 45 seconds ago, and they've already dug like half an inch down in. What? Yep, and if you check out this time-lapse footage, you can see just how quickly they were getting work done. They literally work like mini drills to dig these tiny tunnels through the
Like, I be feeling like ants got, like, you feel me? They be talking somehow. You feel me? They be communicating. Like why the fuck? Like, and they can smell food. Like, they don't be playing around. They be hungry as hell. Okay.
sand. But in reality, it's a tiring and grueling process where each individual grain of sand has to be picked up from a worker underground, brought all the way up to the surface through this little hole, and then dropped off at this pile of sand over here. Now, while I was recording this, it was actually getting pretty late in the day, so I decided to turn off the lights and came back the next day to see the progress made.
Y'all think it's gonna be, y'all think the sand gonna be gone?
Guys, the next day I came back to the ant nest looking like this. Yeah. Bro, what? It's been literally like 8 hours. How did these ants build an entire intricate nest?
Bro, do ants even sleep?
And not only were all these intricate tunnel systems made, but remember those dead insects I placed at the bottom as food? Well, it's safe to say that ants found those too, and it looks like the whole colony had swarmed them and had already started to devour them. And since they got to the insects, that technically means they passed this first obstacle. Congratulations, guys.
Okay. W ants.
It happened so fast, I literally didn't even capture that on camera. Oh, but this next obstacle the ants are going up against will definitely be caught on camera, because the next obstacle is the tightrope of doom. Yes, you heard that right. And if you're wondering what that is, well, it's this thing. Yup, the ants will have to walk across this extremely narrow tightrope over a pit filled with fire and flames. Oh, I gotta put that out. Oh, yep, put that out. Oh, get up. Where are you gonna go?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Niggas is torturing ants nowadays. I don't think they gonna walk across this.
Oh. No, I'm just kidding. That would be crazy. These are literally my pets. I would never do that. But I will be trapping the ants down here if they fall by lining the walls of this pit with this super slippery liquid stuff called Fluon. I know you can't really see this stuff since it's invisible, but basically when an ant tries to walk up on here now, it'll just slip off completely. Yeah, this stuff is super slippery. And you guys are about to see why this challenge gets so interesting in a second. But if you look over at the 2D ant nest, you'll actually see I have a little hole here plugged up with some paper towels. And if you also look here, I got some tubing, meaning I can connect this to the obstacle. So yeah, let's just get this obstacle started. Come on, ants, let's get in here. Immediately after plugging in the tubing, obviously ants noticed and started walking.
Bro, why do you got ants as your pet? It's weird. Like, this weird as shit. Like, I never thought ants could be a pet.
walking in. I mean, there's 1,000 ants. You can't even get away from them for a second. But that's what makes these obstacles fun, because it only took like 10 seconds till our first ant entered the tightrope of doom tank. Now, to pass this obstacle, the ants quite literally just need to get one of these pieces of insect legs back across the tightrope, which I think might be impossible, but let's see how they do. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the ants started off with some pretty lackluster performance because our first ants that made it to this tightrope didn't actually walk onto it. They kind of just walked around it on the corner of this platform where they just ended up just slipping off. Yeah, come on guys, what are you doing? But we got 1,000 ants, so I was expecting at least one of these ants to eventually step onto this tightrope. But as tons more ants started to walk into this room, yeah, they kind of all just did the same exact thing. And the pit started to get absolutely filled up with tons of ants. Come on, ants, what are you doing? No, I'm just kidding. I think this is actually my fault, and to make them walk across the...
Bro, how you expect them to know how to tightrope? You feel me? Ants can't tightrope. Like, you good, mud?
The tightrope, I just gotta fix something. Let me show you how to fix it. Basically, what I did was, first of all, tape 2 extra pieces of string to the tightrope to make it a bit thicker so the ants would feel safer when they walked on it. And also, I rubbed this insect jelly food on the tightrope to make the bridge smell like jelly. And yeah, hopefully this will make them want to walk on it. Now, this worked.
Okay, I think they're gonna get past this time, man. When it comes to food, you feel me? The big back ants always gonna go for it.
Exactly how I wanted it to, because within the first minute, our first workers actually started to walk onto the tightrope and explored it, just very slowly. But over time, more and more ants started to walk onto it, and it was actually kind of funny, because sometimes the ants would literally just be hanging from each other's legs, because there would just be way too many on the tightrope at the same time. Dang, these ants...
Man, that's fucked up right there, man. You gonna let your homie down like that, bro? You gonna let your homie down like that, dog?
Aren't very good at saving their friends. But it didn't take long for our first brave ant to actually make it to the end of this tightrope. That wasn't even half of the challenge, because now, if you remember, the ants actually got to pick up one of these insect legs and bring them back across the tightrope. And this ant clearly wasn't looking too interested in that, because yeah, he was just completely ignoring them. So I kept waiting until some more ants made it to the side by crossing the tightrope. And surprisingly, one of the ants that made it actually did seem interested in the legs, because he went up to one of them and actually started to bite.
Bro, so I'm gonna eat my food, dog. I'm gonna eat this food. You got me fucked up. Alright? He ain't saving none for nobody else.
But if you couldn't tell, this leg is kind of way too big for this worker to carry it all by himself. And for some reason, even after tons of ants made it onto this side, none of them came to help this poor worker move the leg. But this worker had a mission. He knew he needed to take a leg back to the colony. So what he did was he went up to one of the smaller insect legs that he could actually carry by himself. And he actually picked it up and started to...
Okay, he ain't stingy, dog. W's in the chat, man. You feel me? This is a team player right here.
Wow. Yep. Yeah, it wasn't super efficient or anything, but theoretically he could pass this obstacle for the entire colony if he played his cards right. And played his cards right, he did, because I'm not joking. He walked straight over to the tightrope, and he might have had an extremely close call where he almost fell off, but somehow he managed to save himself. And then the ant actually started to walk across the tightrope with an insect leg in his mouth. Oh my gosh, guys.
This is crazy, bro. Like, they really be helping each other out. I be wondering, I'm like, why do... You feel me? They definitely be grouped up and they be helping each other out. I don't know why ants do this, but I feel it. I think this is just like a natural thing.
This is genuinely...
If only humans was like this, bro.
He's so insane. I am rooting for you, bro. I mean, you got a long way to go. But guys, the ants were doing so awful up to this point. You can see how many fell into the pit of doom. Bro, this dude, he's just an absolute killer. Yup, literally none of the 1,000 ants decided to help this dude. He was doing this entirely solo. And so he kept on marching, completely ignoring any ants that were in his way. And this dude made it all the way to the end of the tightrope, where he then walked onto the platform to complete the obstacle. Oh my gosh, this ant is insane. Seriously, I gotta name this guy. I think I'm gonna name him Antony. And we're probably never gonna be able to find Antony again since all the ants look the same. But seriously, everyone spam some W's in the...
Oh God, W's in the chat. That's a strong ant right there, y'all. You feel me? That's the only ant I know that can walk across the tightrope, get the food, come back, and still be good, chat. You feel me? This nigga saved the day.
The comments for Anthony, that was so insane. And since these guys beat the obstacle, I'm gonna give them the insect's legs as a prize. Thanks, Anthony. Hopefully you guys enjoy. So I quickly moved all the fallen soldiers back to the 2D ant nest. And well, this colony is now ready for its third obstacle. And oh boy, am I excited for this one. Because guys, these ants are gonna have to break into a vault. Yeah, like a robbery, basically. Yep, you heard that.
What? Can an ant rob a bank? I never thought about that. Let me see.
Right, a vault. For this obstacle, I literally built up a DIY bank vault from scratch out of paper that I knew the ants would probably be able to break into. You can see it's pretty good. Sort of looks like a real vault. And anyways, it's cool because the door actually opens, so I could fill this bank vault with an absolutely insane amount of seeds. Yeah, I put so many seeds in here. Because yeah, apparently seeds are this species of ants' favorite food, so they should absolutely swarm this thing. But I got this hot glue gun so I could seal this vault door shut because I got to make this actually a kind of hard obstacle. So let me just go and put some glue on here. Oh yeah, just like that. All right, the vault is completely sealed shut with glue.
Bro, I can break in. Anybody can break in. I feel like the ants gonna get through this, but I don't know. They gotta eat that. They will have to eat at the glue.
Now, so let's see if these ants can actually get the seeds out of it. This is going to be very interesting to watch. So yeah, I just put it in, and as you can imagine, the 1,000 ant colony immediately started to climb onto it. Especially when things are put into colonies' nests, they need to investigate it to make sure it's not a threat. And with this, I think they pretty much immediately knew it wasn't a threat, because none of them were biting it or anything. And actually, a lot of them were just using it as an opportunity to climb out of the enclosure. That's not good. But yeah, the vault right now is pretty sealed shut, and I don't even think the ants knew that there were seeds inside of here. So nothing really eventful happened, to be honest. Okay, this is not exactly going to plan. I'm just gonna take this box and put it in there. Oh, hopefully I didn't crush any ants. Okay, and then let me scoop up all the ants that fell off.
Can't do that on YouTube, dog. Good thing you didn't, bro.
So yeah, I got all those fallen soldiers back into the nest, of course. Well, that didn't exactly work so well, but I kind of knew it wasn't going to work so well, so that's why I came equipped with this stuff. See, basically, it's a cup of water and a big cup of sugar, which I'm going to pour into the water. Then basically, I can mix the water and sugar around to make sugar water, which ants love the smell and taste of. And using this paintbrush, I actually just want to go and paint our vault with it. And basically, this will make the vault not only taste like sugar, but it will also just make it kind of soggy since it's made out of paper, and it should make it able so the
Wait, do y'all think the ants will smell the seeds though? I don't know. We gotta see.
ants can chew through it and stuff and get to the seeds. So yeah, I absolutely just soaked this vault in the sugar water, and without wasting any time, I got this thing in the nest. All right, ants, let's see how you do this time. And oh boy, were things a lot more interesting this time around, because right away, tons more ants were way more interested. You can see how after the ants would walk onto the vault, they would just completely stand still. That's because they were putting their mouth up to the paper and were just completely licking all the sugar off the paper. Yeah, this is not really what I had in mind. I thought this was gonna make them want to completely...
Right, have you ever left a can open and you see an ant and they're just sitting and chilling, bro? I'll be like, is the ant dead or what? Like, I think they be getting like sugar highs or some shit.
They chew through the paper, not lick it, but yeah. So many ants got their fair share of the sugar. However, I didn't see a single ant even trying to find or even acknowledge that there were seeds inside of here. Well, that was until this moment. When you see this hole here, well, just out of nowhere, an ant just came up to it and walked into the hole. And yeah, there was just an ant inside of this vault with the absolute jackpot of seeds. Yeah, I don't know how this hole got here. I guess maybe the sogginess from the sugar water made it droop or something. But wow, that is crazy. Oh my gosh, wait, I think the ants just completed the obstacle. Let me get all the excess ants off this safe real quick. And yeah, once the extra ants had fallen off, I cut open the vault to see if that ant had actually made it inside. And as you can see, he absolutely had made it inside. Oh my gosh, bro, your colony has no clue how much you just clutched up for them. Wait, imagine if this is Anthony, that same ant that beat the obstacle course. That would be insane, but I mean, I don't know if this is the same ant. But anyways, W ant. So yeah, I just went and poured the entire vault's loot pile onto the 2D ant nest, and well, the ants...
I ain't gonna lie, he got up in there though, okay? Save the day again, man. W ant.
have been rewarded with the absolute motherload of food up to this point. But I've been saving the craziest obstacle for last to really find out how smart my ant colony actually is. And this final one is the floor is lava. Yup, the floor is lava, and thankfully I already have it built right here. This is the final obstacle, and you may be wondering, bruh, TerraGreen, where's the lava? Well, the lava is these strips of red on the floor right here. You see, these are actually extremely sticky pieces of tape, and if the ants try to walk on them, well, they're gonna get stuck, of course. So if the ants want to get to the strawberries that I put at the end of the obstacle, they're gonna have to use one of the 3 tools I provided for them to figure out how they can maybe cross this lava. Or maybe they'll make a crazy bridge out of their bodies to cross it. Who knows? Anyways, I wanted to make sure most of these guys actually participated, so I spent the past few hours individually picking up each of the ants from the ant nest and transporting them into this container. Or at least as many as I can get. The rest are kind of under there. That way, they could be easily transported. But before pouring these guys in, I just want to tell you guys that the TerraGreen merch is actually,
I don't care about the TerraGreen merch, man. We don't want none of that. All right. Back to the ants.
I actually replaced it with an even stickier and thicker kind of tape to make sure these ants wouldn't be able to just the obstacle a little bit. Because if you remember that red tape, well, I actually replaced it with an even stickier and thicker kind of tape to make sure these ants wouldn't be able to just walk across. Anyways, let's see how they do. As you could probably guess, lots of the ants immediately went up to the tape and partially got stuck in the front. But don't worry guys, I'll be watching the ants throughout this obstacle, and any of the ants that looks like they get super stuck in the middle, I'll be picking up with these tweezers and moving back at the start so they don't get stuck in here permanently and hurts. Anyways, to actually cross this tape, like I said earlier, I gave these ants different tools, like a pile of dirt, some pieces of string, and even some wood chip.
Y'all, can ants build like bridges and stuff? Like, can an ant build a bridge or what?
To see if they'd be smart enough to actually use these things to their advantage to cross the piece of tape. And while it may look like the ants are not using the tools here, if you look very closely down here near the dirt, they've actually already started to push this pile of dirt onto the tape to make a little bridge that they can walk onto. If they keep building up this bridge, they would actually be able to cross this with no problem whatsoever. But right when I was filming this, I actually noticed that an ant had actually been walking across the tape and somehow had made it extremely close to the end. Yeah, I have no clue how this ant just managed to ignore the stickiness.
He looked like he fucked up though. I ain't gonna lie. This little ant right here, he's a soldier. All right. Looked like his tail coming off a little bit.
Of this tape, I guess his legs were just extremely strong or something, because he got all the way to the end where he had a bit of trouble pulling himself off the tape, but eventually he was able to do it, and wow. Well, this ant just technically passed the obstacle. Oh my gosh, bro. I didn't even see this ant, but I mean, he just passed the obstacle. I guess that's fair and square. Good job, bro. Why is it the past 3 obstacles, it's been a single ant that's clutched it up for the entire colony? But anyways, I gotta get all these guys off the tape so they aren't hurt at all. So yeah, I got them all picked up into a container and transported them back to their nest.
But how do you make sure the ant don't get hurt though? That's the confusing part. Like, how y'all make sure the ant don't get hurt? Okay. It's so easy to smush.
Safely. All right, because you guys beat it, I'm gonna give you this piece of the strawberry, and because the ants beat all of the obstacles I gave them, I'm gonna be giving them this brand new ant nest. Basically, it's just a bit more compact and it has a cool outworld on the top, and I think it's just a bit more optimal for them, so I'm gonna go and move them in there. Anyways, hopefully you guys were entertained and learned something new about ants in this.
I did, bro. I learned a lot about ants, bro. Only one of them out of the whole crew, only one ant gonna survive. Facts. W video though. W video. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section below. Sub up, man. This is going on my newer channel, man. So yeah, hit that sub button. For sure. Alright. Alright,